It's a highly unpredictable autoimmune disease that results in partial or even complete loss of head and body hair. And it affects 1 million people in Germany. For about 80% of those affected, the hair does grow back. But for those who aren't so lucky, the disease has obvious cosmetic and, of course, psychological consequences, depending on how sufferers choose to live with it. Jenny Latz has lived without hair for the last 30 years. Bald and proud is her motto, and she hopes others in her situation will adopt it too.
Women love him, even without any hair. Bruce Willis has long been an international sex symbol. Telly Savalas, despite or maybe because of his bald head, was a superstar too. Many found him attractive with or without a mane. Bald heads can be found everywhere. Receding brows and thinning hair as you get older are normal, for men at least. But it's a lot less common for women or young people. In their case, it's caused by a disease called Alopecia areata, or circular hair loss. In the worst cases, hair comes out in great tufts, in the form of circular patches. Even Princess Caroline of Monaco is reported to have suffered from it several years ago, but those days are clearly over. Jenny Latz was not so lucky. 30 years ago, when she was just 19, Jenny lost all her hair. At first, she was ashamed of her baldness and covered it up, but today she's proud. Yet Jenny still has to deal with other people's prejudices.
Sometimes older women come up to me and say that they've been through it too. They say they had breast cancer. Then I have to tell them, and I really don't mind, that my baldness is caused by a problem with my immune system and that it's got nothing to do with chemotherapy.
Hair regrowth treatment didn't work for Jenny. For around 20% of alopecia sufferers, their hair will never come back. Pharmaceutical companies have been trying for years to find ways to make hair grow back. They haven't had much success, although there are such medicines as Alopecia or DCP, which at least stops hair loss for a while. Jenny Latz has not let her condition take over her life. After modeling for a while, she now is a management consultant and also works in a self-help group. She wants to help others be more courageous, just like herself. That's why she's written an autobiography entitled Happiness Begins in the Head. In the book, Jenny Latz describes how she lives a normal life despite her illness.
And it's a pleasure to welcome Jenny Latz here to our studio.
It's my pleasure.
Ms. Latz, it's funny, we just saw in the film, it seems to me that going bald is a bit sort of like aging. It's something that men can get away with quite easily and still be considered attractive. What is it like for a woman?
It is hard for a woman in the beginning, but you can get used to it, and you need a lot of self-confidence, that's for sure.
What was it like for you when you really had the realization, there's no going back from this, my hair is never growing back?
It was a disaster. And it was especially because of that a disaster, because when I was a teenage girl, I had pictures taken of me, and I made a little bit money on the side during schooling time. Mm-hmm. So I lost my hair, and that meant for me at that time that I wasn't a woman anymore.
Mm-hmm. And how did people around you react?
That was very different. My family, for example, they were panicking. They couldn't help me. They didn't know what to do. And I met a lot of new people through that, a lot of artists and musicians, and for them it was a little bit normal that I was looking different.
Normal to be different.
Yes.
And is that really how you were able to then start establishing some confidence again, by accepting this difference?
Yeah, the confidence was not there once, and it was there for all the time, but it was going 2 steps ahead and 1 step back. So I always found new situations where I found out that I didn't know how to handle those situations. For instance, going swimming, being bored, and going swimming, and going to the supermarket being bored. I mean, it started out with private moments and parties, and where I felt I was protected by the people I knew around me, and then step by step I I learned how to turn that negative situation into a positive one.
Now, alopecia areata, it's one of these mysterious conditions where it's not really so sure what causes it, according to your research and
as far as we know, it's a disturbance of the immune system which attacks the own hair and is aggressive against the hair roots.
And can it also, is stress a factor?
It may be that stress can cause it, so that maybe even you have the disease in your body, but you need a special life event in a very extreme situation, and that may have been in my life. It may have been that my mother died shortly before I got that hair loss.
How do people react today upon first meeting you? Are there differences in the reactions, for instance, between men and women?
Yeah, on the plane, for instance, I had some men looking at me, but today I know why they're looking at me. They look at me because they have a lot of respect for my self-confidence, and a lot of them, they ask me too sometimes when I do my coaching lessons that they say, well, you are a woman, you do that, so I'm a man, I should be able to do the same and have the same self-confidence. And women are more solidaric with me.
And what advice do you give to other people who are suddenly confronted with alopecia areata?
Turn to the right people for the first advice. That's very important, because there are a lot of people out there who just want to make money, and I know that from my own life story, yes.
And do you ever actually don the wig still from time to time, or do you go around mostly now only with the bald head?
No, I wear hair replacements from time to time, but just as a fashion
accessory
thing, yes.
Do you ever wish you still had hair?
No.
No.
No. I'm fine that way.
That's great. Thank you very much for coming in and speaking to me, Jenny.
Thank you.